The Department of Labor just announced the Consumer Price Index, which measures the change in cost of goods and services. Well, that rose to a staggering 7.9% in February.
All right, so that means for the fourth straight month, inflation has hit a new 40-year high. Let's bring in now former Secretary of the Treasury under President Clinton and President Emeritus of Harvard University, Professor Larry Summers. Sir, good to have you here with us and good to have your mind, your knowledge. This is what you do. This is what you study. So help us here, help Americans understand here. How much worse should we be prepared for things to get? And is relief only going to come when this war in Ukraine is over?
I think it's probably going to get worse for the next couple of months. I think when the war in Ukraine ends, that will be helpful. My guess is that people are going to be living with higher inflation for the next year or two, and we're going to see some slowdown in the economy from the pace of growth that we have seen.
Now, we know officials from the Fed Reserve are set to meet next week. You've said that the Feds need to act strongly in order to avoid a recession. What would strong actions look like?
I think they need to raise interest rates. I think they need to signal that they're going to do more raising of interest rates. They need to signal that inflation is their top priority, and they need to recognize that they should have been moving to tighten policy much sooner than they have. The Fed can't blame this on the pandemic or the war, and the administration can't blame this on corporate greed. This is fundamentally about the very delicate task of managing the level of demand in the economy.
So much on people's minds right now because it's in their face every day, gas prices. And you recently said, and again, I'm putting this on The Economist, everybody. They might not agree with you here, but you said that the cost per mile of driving is relatively low by historical standards. Now, I'm going to give you a chance to explain what you mean by that. So explain what that means and also the direction that gas prices are going. What does that tell you about the way the rest of the economy is going to go with that so much of our money is going in our gas tanks right now?
TJ, look, sometimes it's a good idea to step back and look at hard figures. And relative to, for example, 2012, when President Obama was reelected, actually, if you adjust for inflation and you adjust for the fact that cars are more fuel efficient, the cost of driving, the cost of a daily commute is actually lower than it was then. That's just a fact. And as people get upset because there has been a spike, and they're right to get upset, it's just useful to put that in some perspective. And TJ, to say something that I know a lot of people probably aren't going to like, but I hope they'll think about. If you think about what the people in Ukraine are going through, if you think about the kind of challenge that's being posed to our basic security and freedom, I think if Americans have to pay more for gasoline for a time to stand up to Putin, that's something Americans are going to be willing to do. They won't like it, but I think that Americans understand that what's really important in the world is the basic values for which our country stands. But the stakes in what we are going through are very grave. And I hope and I expect that your viewers are going to recognize what's involved for our country.
Professor Summers, we'll sum this up by quoting you. You said what history is going to remember is did we or did we not stand up to tyranny in this moment, not what happened to the CPI in mid-2022. So that is a perfect way to end this. But we certainly appreciate your expertise, your perspective. Former U.S. Treasury Secretary Larry Summers, thanks for being on the program.
Good to be with you.
Well, hey there. there, GMA fans. Robin Roberts here. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Lots of great stuff here. So go on, click the subscribe button right over here to get more of awesome videos and content from GMA every day, anytime. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the morning on GMA.